Hello, Cristina. Nice talking with you and welcome back in Romania. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you very much. Very happy to be here.
Well, actually, you are back in Bucharest after a few years.
It feels great because we always love to come back here, not only for the history of the place, but also because we always connected very well with the crowds here, with the basis of fans here. And I feel that it's going to be a great show. This tour so far has been amazing, and I can't wait to perform tonight. And actually, last time I sung in Sibiu, I had like a very bad pneumonia, so I was very, very sick. So hopefully tonight is going to be much better than the last performance that I did, which went great anyway, but I can't wait for tonight.
So actually, a few days ago, you've embarked in an European tour together with Cellar Darling. So how is it to tour with them?
It's amazing. I mean, we're on the same bus. We decided to share the bus with them, and this is actually something that we like because this way we get to know the people we are on tour with, and they're awesome. I mean, we like their music. They're great human beings, which helps a lot on the road. So we found new friends, and it's amazing.
How is the crowd still responses to the songs of Delirium during the live show?
Very, very, very good. Which is something that I was very surprised because when the record came out, I immediately noticed that people were singing the new songs with us, which is something that usually doesn't really happen from day one. Usually they get to know the songs better in time, and then they react to them. But now that the record has been out for more than a year, I can totally say that is one of the best records we've ever done in terms, of course, of production, of our taste, but also the connection that created to the people who was listening to Lacuna Coil, which is great.
I like the fact that on Delirium you use a lot of heavy elements, and I hope on the next release you will be the same. So, did you start to write a new record? If yes, what's the current status about it?
No, not yet. Not yet. We always have new ideas that we're collecting, but in order to create a new record, we definitely need to be home to focus on the record only. We don't write when we are on the road because we don't want distractions. For us, it's really important, to go back to our temple, which is Marco's basement, where he has all his studio, and bring all the ideas, all the material that we have, and create something new. So next year, we're definitely going to start, to focus on a new record, and I believe that it could definitely be even way heavier because that's what we like to perform on stage. Of course, we like the ballads and the mellow songs, but we like better to perform songs that are heavier, and we love heavy music, so probably next year.
I hope so. We'll be the same. Like well, next year would be like 20 years since the existence of Lacuna Coil. So do you have any plans of the anniversary?
We have a lot of plans. Some of the plans have been released already. We're going to have a very special show and a unique show in London on 1/19, so January 19th, which is universally known as Lacuna Coil Day because we have a song called 119, so the fans made it Lacuna Coil Day. So that show is going to happen in London at the O2 Shepherd Bush, which is a historical place. It's going to be a very different show, very special, a one-night special show. Then we are writing a book, a special book that will tell the story of Lacuna Coil from beginning up until now, with a lot of pictures, a collection of memories, things that we've never said before, that we've never published before. And it would be a very cool collectible item. We want to do it in a way that is going to be very cool to look at and to possess. Something to celebrate this. Then we're thinking about a lot of stuff because next year's all going to be focused on the 20 years of Lacuna Coil. So we have a lot of ideas, but some of them we didn't reveal yet.
Yeah, but why do you actually want to perform to the anniversary in UK and not in your homeland?
Because it's going to be easier to reach from different parts of the world. Milano, it's very expensive, and it's not it's not a very common city you go to. Like London, it's basically easy to reach from the States, because there will be a lot of people coming from the States. It's very easy to reach from the rest of Europe, and for sure, I mean, the pound is not exactly cheap, but it was logistically easier for us to do this, to do it in London, for this reason, and also because the UK have always embraced us so much, you know, from the very beginning, supported us from the beginning, but the logistic reason was the first one we thought about.
Yeah, I actually heard about the Italian scene that is kind of poor, to say in quotes, and not so many people used to come to the shows, which I'm a bit like, wow, really? Do you agree with it?
But what do you mean?
About the Italian scene, that not many people come to the shows.
It depends. The Italian scene is it's very strange at times, especially in metal, because there is a lot of people who say that they are supporting metal, so they tend to support the smaller bands because they're more in the underground and they're cooler and they're more metal. But then when they play, they don't show to the concerts.
Yeah.
So you know, sometimes I find it weird, and I find it too easy to talk shit about bands, and then you don't even go to support the other bands you're telling good things about. So the scene, it's really weird. We are lucky because we have a lot of like people who are loving us and following us, so we feel blessed, and I never really had problems with it, to be honest. But it's a weird scene.
Yeah. Well, as a female, I can say I'm happy because you don't use a sexual image to sell your record. So actually, rock and metal for you, it's something usual. Do you agree with it?
I love to be a woman. I love to be feminine when the time is right.
Yeah.
I think that the look in your eyes can be 10,000 times sexier than just like showing your boobs and ass. But at the same time, I think that everybody should be free to express themselves the way they want. Like for example, I wouldn't feel confident to do that because I don't dislike my body, but I like to keep it private.
Yeah.
Or for the people that's really close to me, if you know what I mean. It's not my desire to show too much, and I never did it. But at the same time, I'm not against it. I mean, if someone feels that confident to perform, you know, half naked, or to promote their body in a more sexual way, I don't want to judge them. You know, everyone has a different way to express themselves, let's say so.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is when you expose too much, and then at a certain point you change your mind, and it's like you turn into a saint, and it's like you did it before. What's the problem? You can turn into a saint in one day. So that this is what I don't understand. But I mean, whatever, their choice.
Besides the next year anniversary shows, do you have any other touring plans?
We are talking about lots of festivals, whether they are in Europe or the States, and we have plans to tour with other bands, but they're not 100% confirmed. So I don't want to talk about it because they might happen, but they might not happen as well. So I don't want to give anybody like the illusion that we're going to be playing with this band or that other band. All I know that it's going to be a fantastic year. I already feel that a lot of things have changed, and we've never felt so passionate. I mean, you will see it on stage tonight. I think it's going to be even different from the last time you saw us in Sibiu. Like the level of energy, it's, I don't know. We feel a newer band now more than we did 20 years ago, which is so weird, but truth.
Yeah. Actually, tonight will be my first time seeing you live. So.
Oh, okay. I thought that you came to the show and see you. That's why.
No, just I know you.
Okay.
Have been there.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
the interview. It was my pleasure again. Cheers from Metal Wani.
It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you.